Indigenous Insights. Miigwech for tuning in here with us on this Saturday. I'm your host, Mitch. On the phone, the one, the only, comedian Don Burnstick. Don, welcome back to the show.
Hey, how you doing, man? It's good to be back.
Yeah, it's been a couple of years since you've been on the show.
At least a couple of years.
I think last time I have a picture of it on my Facebook page, too. You and R.D. Curtis had your hands up on the vehicle there, or whatever. I'll just share that with you.
Yeah.
So what you been up to in this past couple of years? You've been busy,
I'm still doing the same thing, but different intensity, different, more new material, more funny stuff. This whole thing is just really taken off to a whole another level. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just growing, eh? All right, so I got a hold of you because I seen on your Facebook page, which has over 67,000 followers, that at one of your shows here recently, you had something pretty special happen.
Well, I used my social media, try to do it in a good way. I was pretty active with it in the political election last year in Canada, and really motivated our people to vote. So I understand the responsibility that I have, and I'm very much involved. I wish I could be there at Standing Rock, but I'm unable to be there because I'm so busy. But I always send my regards, and they know I support them. And at my shows, especially this last little while, at the beginning of the show, I acknowledge the water protectors and the people in the front lines, and I ask whoever supports them, please stand up and hold your right fist in the air. And everybody stood up. It was a powerful experience.
Oh, wow.
I just got chills,
And you mentioned that it's happened more than once now, even.
Yeah, like I'm doing it on a regular basis now just to create awareness,
Oh,
wow. And up in Canada now, Idle No More's it's firing up again regarding Dakota Access and flash mob round dances and protests. It's like we're really supporting our relatives on there.
Okay, well, just as an icon for our people, I mean, you seem to recognize that. I, along with others, I'm sure would like to kind of hear you speak on the protests going on right now. And what's your overall opinion on what's going on?
Well, it's I can't believe that the media, mainstream media, is not on top of it. Because I remember those guys in Oregon, those non-native people. They had guns pointed at the police, and the police backed down.
Yep, I seen a picture on.
And then they all got acquitted after. And they were pointing guns, and they had a shootout with the police.
Wow.
And the police backed away. And what happens after all that stuff happened? They get acquitted. There's no weapons at the camp. They have objects. They have pipes, and they're praying, and they're getting maced. They're getting rubber bullets thrown at them. They're getting baton, beaten up, and these are women and elders or spiritual people that are getting just dragged in and beaten like that. And it's absolutely unreal. And it's all about money, And the oil companies who are out of Texas, they own that pipeline. And they own the big tar sands up in Fort McMurray, Alberta. That's where this oil's coming from, And it's really dirty oil. And what it is, it's bitumen, right? It's basically like tar. So what they got to do is they got to steam it with really hot water to separate the tar and the sand. It's called tar sands. And then it's really thick. And what happens? They got to steam it again to thin it. And then they send it down to a pipeline, but it's still very thick. It's very diluted. It does a lot of damage. And with the water that they use to do this oil, they put it back out there in these trillion pounds and stuff, and it's done so much damage. Like Fort McMurray is basically a dead zone. They have this town, but all around it where the tar sands are, it's just a dead zone. Nothing grows there, and it's really, it looks like Mars, Well, that's where all this oil's coming from, and it's coming down through Canada. It's going to go through the states, and it's not even staying in the states. It's going to be shipped to China. It's going to be shipped abroad. Everyone who is involved is getting paid, and even these police that are dressed up like they're going to war, that are all geared up in their army gear. Somebody's paying for that, and the oil company is doing it. Because the state cannot pay these guys the overtime to stand on line and beat up natives.
Yep.
So the oil company, the billionaires that own that stuff are the ones who are flipping the bill for this,
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's amazing. Now they're at the Missouri River, and they want to put that pipeline right through the river. Now, if that thing erupts, it's going to affect all these states. It's going to affect about 16 million people drinking water. And most pipelines will erupt, especially the ones that carry the bitumen, because the bitumen oil is so thick and sludgy, and the pipelines cannot handle the pressure it has, and they erupt all the time.
Yeah, and then when it comes to the pipelines, from what some of my research has shown, is that media ignorance it's been around for the pipeline subject all over the place, as not very many of those bursts are reported upon.
No, it's not at all. And again, like we had guys like Bernie Sanders and stuff. Those guys were proactive, but the media is all focused on the chaos and the circus of the election, right? With the crazy Trump and Hillary, and that's what they're focusing, because that's what they think people want to hear. You have celebrities and well-known people go in there and they're trying to do whatever they can. That young actress, she went for herself and got arrested, and just to get media attention to this.
Yeah.
To the Dakota Access Pipeline, she even got herself arrested just to get some media, and she was on late night talk shows. She was on CNN, and she was on the other talking about this, but nobody really cares, and that's the sad part about mainstream United States. They don't care.
One thing that you kind of mentioned to me here before we started recording is that you read that some of the law enforcement are handing in their badges at this point.
Yeah, I read about that, and they're saying that a couple of them are handing their badges, saying that this is not what they signed up for, to beat up unarmed people. They're basically shooting them with rubber bullets. They're beating them with batons, and they're spraying them with these huge canisters, like fire extinguisher-sized canisters of pepper spray, and they're spraying the people who are kneeling down with their pipes and their smudge and their bundles, and they go right up to them, just unload a whole can of pepper spray on these Native American water protectors, and it's so sad. It's disgusting. It's unbelievable, this thing, the money drives the economy, and what it is, it's not even about jobs. The jobs are the ones who are building the pipeline, but the jobs are going to go through North Dakota, and they're going to go in, that pipeline's going to continue down south. And there's not going to be any more jobs there. All there's going to be is there's going to be a black hole there. There's going to be just this black snake going across the ground, and it's going to be covered, right?
Yeah.
So no jobs are going to stay in North Dakota. Nobody, the governor might get some. The other people who are doing it might get some money from the oil company, but there's no jobs staying, and that's what these people, you got to understand.
Some of those temporary jobs, I mean, if there are there, I mean, even a decade or two, and then they pack up and leave.
Even with the pipeline, the pipeline people move along. They go through and they go along, and they don't hire anybody local. It's the company, and sure they might hire people to excavate and do all kinds of and move the land around. But the ones who actually drilling the hole for the pipeline and installing the pipelines, these are company people, and they're brought in from the company, and they just go along through when they follow the pipeline. So the economy and the jobs really aren't staying in the state itself. It's moving along, right? So when they talk about it, it's going to do for jobs. Maybe they'll hire maybe about 20 people to maintain and monitor the pipeline. But that's it. That's the jobs. But if one of those things erupt, it's unbelievable. And even with the fracking, all the fracking that's going up in North Dakota, it's done so much damage. There's fields. People who have generations of farms, they've lost the growing ability. Their land doesn't grow anymore because of the fracking.
Wow. Yeah, and it just keeps going. I mean, the media keeps ignoring it. It just keeps going.
Yeah, and again, because it's kind of like an oil boom in North Dakota right now. Sure, but oil prices are they're down now. And with fracking, what you do is you take hot steam and you shoot it down into the earth, and it puts so much pressure that it pushes the oil up, right? But what the pressure does is there's some rock and all these things underneath, and what it does, it makes it unstable. And even up in Alberta, when they're fracking, they're getting earthquakes now because it's really destabilized the plate, right? So they're having earthquakes where they've never had earthquakes before.
And that was caused by fracking.
Caused by fracking, And they're drilling holes and they're shooting really hot steam and hot water into the earth to put lots of pressure to get the oil up easier. That's what fracking is, eh?
Yeah, that's
holy smokes! I sound actually pretty smart, eh?
Hey, let me tell you. I mean, you just taught me so much right now.
I
appreciate it, and this
but
is.
I know a lot about this, because that one pipeline, that Keystone pipeline, Keystone Access, the one that Obama kind of shut. No, that's not going to happen. That was a really big one. That was twice the size of the one that's going through North Dakota. It was a really big one, and it got shut down by the new Prime Minister in Canada and by Obama. And what he's doing is Obama is going to say, well, let's see how this thing unfolds. Like, what a coward!
Yeah.
What and he's got another week there, and then he's done, right?
Yep.
He could actually do something really significant there, when he's going to go, well, let's see how it plays out.
Let me ask you this then. At some point, regardless of what's going to happen, hopefully we can come to a good outcome of this. Once it's all over, what do you think we need to take from this? What do you think we need to learn? What do you think the world needs to learn?
Watch the land that's going to watch it in 10 years, in 5. But most of the pipelines are going to burst, and I hope it doesn't burst under the Missouri River, because it's going to affect 16 million people, right?
Yep.
All their drinking water, and what's going to happen? That's when they're going to wake up, when it starts affecting mainstream,
Yeah, and
because they're not listening to Native Americans, right? They're not listening to us. We protest all you want. We're not going to, they're doing everything to. Those guys can actually shoot at us, and it won't get reported. There's people that could actually be shot and killed at that place, and the mainstream media will not report it.
It's a very scary time right now. And, honestly, I hope that this interview will actually spread to the people at the protest. And, if that happens, they get to hear your words. What do you have to say to them?
That we are with them, even though we may not be there physically. So many people, all, like, how many followers I have on Facebook, and then my followers. So when I make a post about it, all 67,000 plus see it, and then they see it, and then they see it. So about millions see it within a couple hours, right? So so many people are talking about it. So many people are with you. Not just in North America, but throughout the world, and the world is watching. And for those people who are on the front lines, who are so brave, who know what they're facing, who know what they're going to be looking at, who face down the dogs, who face down these police, you're there in the front lines, but all of us, we're all with you, we're all behind you, we're supporting, we're praying for you, we're doing what we can. Even though we can't be there physically with you, we're praying, we're smudging, we're dancing, we're singing, we're protesting up here too as well. It's a very powerful time for our people. So your leaders and your modern day warriors fighting this black snake that's going across this land, that's going to affect our future. And that's what it is. We're fighting this black snake.
Miigwech. Great words from Don Burnstick. Thank you very much for calling in, Miigwech. And we look forward to talking to you next time.
Okay, bro. Thank you.